The socialist left wants to deprogram Republican and conservative Christians, and big corporations are looking to defund anybody that supported this current administration. Hang on and I'll get into it. Hey everybody, Hill Country Prepper. Appreciate you guys checking out my videos. Thanks for the comments. Appreciate all the subscribers I have. Just want to say thanks for that. Here's the story. I'm going to read something that I saw on a lot of different news outlets. I think it's best summarized in an article that I found on defconnews.com. Here's what it says about deprogramming. Here is Washington Post columnist Eugene Robinson and creator of the New York Times racist revisionist history scam, the 1619 Project, Nicole Hannah Jones, doing their best to bring 1930s Germany to 2021 America. Quote, "There are millions of Americans, almost all white, almost all Republicans, who somehow need to be deprogrammed. It's as if they are members of a cult. The trumpets, cult, and they have to be deprogrammed. Do you have any idea on how we start the process, much less complete it?" Robinson asked. Hannah Jones said, "We can look to history to stop people, and the first step is enforcement. There has to be consequences, and then, once you get those consequences, people have to take a second look at their actions and be afraid," replied Jones. So the plan appears to be to round up millions of white Republicans and punish them so severely that they are afraid to oppose the leftist agenda. If this plan sounds reminiscent of the Nazis, that's because it is, and it gets even closer with this Hitler Youth program, as reported by another great undercover video from Project Veritas. This is PBS Principal Counsel Michael Beller's contribution to the deprogramming plan. Quote, "If Biden wins, we go for all the Republican voters, and Homeland Security will take their children away," said Beller, "and we'll put them into re-education camps." End quote. Beller then called the children of Trump supporters horrible, intolerant kids, and says they need to be thrown into enlightenment camps. Quote, "They're nice. They have Sesame Street characters in the classrooms, and they watch PBS all day," Beller said of these enlightenment camps. Now, just for the record, Beller has since been fired from PBS, which is probably a good thing. But what they're talking about is deprogramming conservative Christians who supported this current administration. They're talking about re-education camps for our children, for your children, enlightenment camps. They're nice. Yeah, right. Now also, we've seen how the censorship of big tech has been going on to silence and suppress the voice of conservative Christians, of patriots. Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, Amazon with the shutdown of Parler. It goes even further now. Big corporations are pulling their contributions to people that supported this administration. They're pulling their contributions to the lawmakers who had pushed for the recertification of the vote. I'm talking about corporations such as Best Buy, Walmart, ExxonMobil, Chevron, AT&T, Citicorp, Visa, MasterCard. The list goes on and on. Now you have a choice where you spend your money. You do have a choice. Some people on this platform are calling for us patriots to pull back, lay low, don't draw attention to ourselves, and I think that's a good idea. But I also think it is a good idea to let these corporations know how we feel about their defunding. Now, this funding, of course, if you know, is done through what's called political action committees. What they do, they're basically set up. Say you're in a sector. Say you're in a business sector, whether it be industry or pharmaceutical or trade or anything like that. Well, what these committees do, they work for these corporations, and they provide funding to legislators and lawmakers who help further their business. Okay. It's a reality. It is what it is, right or wrong. So if there's a legislator who is pro-energy, then energy companies will provide funding through their PAC, their political action committees, to that legislator, who will put forth legislation that is favorable for the energy sector in this example. And again, same thing for trade and pharma and stuff like that. Well, that's what they're doing. These corporations like Target and Walmart and Chevron and Visa, MasterCard, others, there's a long list of them. Do your research and go find out who they are. Well, what they're doing is they're pulling their funding for these, I think it's 147 lawmakers that opposed the certification of the vote, which was legal to do. Now, it is up to the individual corporations how they want to fund their PACs. It is. But to come right out and say that we're pulling funding from these lawmakers simply because they voiced concern about the validity of the vote, that's a different matter. Okay, that is singling them out for exercising their constitutional right and duties. So, I want you guys to be aware of that. You have a choice how you spend your money. I suggest you do your research and learn who these companies are, and really decide if you want to continue to do business with the likes of AT&T, Verizon, Comcast. They're in the mix as well. Other corporations are taking this into consideration, such as CVS and others. It's a long list of major corporations. We need to do our research, folks. We need to pay attention to what's going on, and I know you all are. I just want to get this message out to you that this deprogramming of patriots is not going away. It is continuing. This has been going on since November. All right, it continues to go on, and it's continuing to gain momentum by the left socialist media, by the left socialist influencers, and by the left socialist politicians. It's also extended to the corporations who want to silence our lawmakers for doing the job that we hired them to do. All right, guys, stay strong. Stay diligent. Just my thoughts, Hill Country Prepper. Thanks.